What's up and welcome to the Sixers Break Room. Let's break down how the Boston Celtics were able to shut down Kevin Durant in the second half of that Game 2 matchup. He went 0 for 10, which is absolutely unheard of, uncharacteristic from Kevin Durant. Let's take a look at the film and let's see how it happened. Now, before we take a look at how the Boston Celtics were able to shut down Kevin Durant, let's do two things. First, let's take a look at how he had some success in the first half and the few shots he did make. And go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Most of you guys are not yet subscribed to the channel. Taking a look at the analytics, only like 4% of the people that watch my videos are actually subscribed. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Click that bell so you know when I'm dropping new content. And if you like this video, go ahead and drop a like while you're at it. Now, let's take a look at some of these makes from the first half, and let's see what the Brooklyn Nets were doing in the first half of the game that they weren't for Kevin Durant in the second half. Very simple. First quarter, you're going to get some pick and roll action. Now, it's not complex, but it's hard to defend, especially when you have a player like Kevin Durant here. So you have this Andre Drummond, Kevin Durant pick and roll, and you're going to have what's called drop coverage. So you got Andre Drummond setting the screen. You're going to have Al Horford dropping into coverage in this area here. He's trying to prevent any Kevin Durant straight line drive to the basket there. And then you're going to have Jaylen Brown going over the top to prevent any pull up from three. You're trying to force a contested mid-range at worst, and maybe he gives it up at best. You're going to see here Kevin Durant comes off of this. Al Horford drops in coverage. And Tice doesn't really plug it too much. Like, he's kind of helping the drive here, but you're going to see how they adjust that a little bit in the second half. And you're going to get Kevin Durant stepping into a mid-range jump shot. Now, that's not bad defense, but Kevin Durant is special. On this second clip here, as we get into the half-court offense a little bit, you're going to see Kevin Durant is actually being face guarded by Al Horford, meaning he doesn't see the ball. Kevin Durant is going to step up a little bit to draw Horford to step up, and then boom, he's going to cut back door, and it's going to result in a contested shot. But you're going to see here, right there, that step up, you get Al Horford leaning to his left, backdoor cut, and it's a contested jump shot. Two bodies are being thrown at Kevin Durant. At least, you know, if he's going to make that Kevin Durant special, he's going to hit tough jump shots. But again, you sent two bodies at him. But the theme here is you had a pick and roll early on, then you get some off-ball movement from Kevin Durant cutting backdoor to the basket. This is how he was able to generate looks early in the game. Once again, right here, you're going to have a high screen and roll, right? Kevin Durant is actually going to drag Tice out in coverage, and he's going to be able to hit a contested three. But again, you get the ball screen here. Tatum's got to do a better job getting over the screen in that situation. Tice is trying to hedge the screen a little bit, so he's stepping up. Instead of being in drop coverage, he's covering the ball. Kevin Durant does a great job of reading this hedge, and once Tice steps up as much as he did, watch as he drags this out a little bit. That drag from the ball handler kind of forces them to not be sure, are we switching it, are we not switching it? And then he's able to pull up. That's a pretty uncontested shot for Durant. In the second quarter, this is going to be the last possession here where he gets a make. He's able to attack downhill, so you don't really have much help here, right? Take a look at the lane. There's no help here. Last line of defense is Tice, and you got Horford guarding the ball. Kevin Durant is going to get by Horford 100 times out of 100, right? Little hesitation, gets to the basket, tough make. Now, the 4 baskets we saw Kevin Durant make in the first half, 2 came off a pick and roll, 1 was on a backdoor cut, and then the last one was in transition, able to get downhill on Al Horford. Now, take a look at the difference between those shots and the shots he gets in the second half, how Boston defends him a little bit better, but also how the Nets coaching staff doesn't do Kevin Durant any favors in getting him any looks. So let's take a look at this first shot here in the second half for Durant. So you get a kick out very late in the shot clock, 2.5 left, but take a look at the bodies that get thrown at Durant. You got Tatum, you got Smart, and you got Tice. You got 3 defenders here. 3 defenders are going to go at Durant. You get the contest early on a little head fake. You get Marcus Smart plugging the drive a little bit, and you get Smart and Tice both contesting the jump shot late in the possession. So early on in those makes, you didn't see a lot of doubles. You didn't see a lot of triples. You didn't see a lot of contested shots. But there you get 3 bodies being thrown at him. Also early in the game, you saw pick and roll. You saw backdoor cuts. You saw movement. Take a look at this possession here. Standing around. Everybody's watching, right? Take a look at the Nets offense. Kyrie's just watching. Curry's just watching. Drummond in the dunker spot just watching. Brown in the corner, not a great shooter, just watching. Now, when you don't have a great shooter in the corner, that's going to allow Al Horford to step over a little bit. So he's plugging this driving lane. You got Tice helping underneath. Jaylen Brown has to respect the jumper over here, so he's not in help too much. You know, he's on the other side of the floor. And then Marcus Smart can't really help too much either. But just take a look at the possession. Just a pull-up, right? Contested pull-up. No movement or anything. Here we go again. You got Durant being guarded by Tice here. A lot of guys just standing around watching. He dribbles at Tice. Take a look, right? Contested from behind by Tatum. Great contest up front by Tice. He's having to shoot over two bodies right here. So again, there's no movement, there's no screen, there's no back door. It's just dribble, contested jump shot. Here, it looks like Claxton's about to come up and set a screen, and then he decides not to. So once again, we get isolation basketball, and Tatum has really stepped up in this series and shown that he can be an excellent two-way player, an excellent perimeter defender, right? He doesn't fall for the fake right here. He stays grounded. I don't leave my feet until you leave yours. And then it's a great contest from Tatum. Again, there's no movement. There's no actions. I don't know what the Brooklyn Nets were doing as a coaching staff. I'm not saying I know more than they do. They're NBA coaches, for crying out loud. But they were just doing nothing to generate offense for Kevin Durant. On this possession here, you get Kevin Durant in a spot he really likes in that mid post, right? But there was no screening action. Like, I've done breakdowns of the Nets previously where we see pin down screens for Kevin Durant to come up and catch the ball here. Instead, they're just planting him there and having him post up 17 feet from the basket against Tatum, who's a really good perimeter defender. And it's just like, go make a play. Good contest. Not a bad shot. Kevin Durant has made those historically. But again, they're not doing anything to make his job any easier. This possession is another great example where you would think, right, okay, let's have Drummond come up and set a screen, and then let's let Kevin Durant go make a play off of that. But none of that happens, right? I'm dribbling up his isolation basketball, crossover, right? And look at it, two bodies contesting this jump shot. You got Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum both getting a hand up on Kevin Durant. Tatum actually blocks the shot. It's just, I don't know why they weren't able to, I don't know why the Nets didn't run anything to try to get these guys any shots. And this becomes the effect of not running anything, right? Let's take a look at this possession. On the surface, it seems very simple. You're going to have Kevin Durant just posting up in the mid post, and nobody's really doing anything. But watch this. Because nobody's really doing anything, Kyrie's not even spotting up. Kyrie is not a threat at this moment. He's walking away from the ball, right? So now, when Grant Williams comes down on this, he's not even ready to kick it out to Kyrie because Kyrie's not ready to catch the ball. Now Kyrie's ready to catch the ball. But at this point, Kevin Durant has now spun away from the basket and Grant Williams is back to recover, right? So all this ball watching, it allows the defense to be able to help more, right? Take a look at Horford. Horford's just eyeing him up, ready to jump over and help. You got Grant Williams collapsing this, forcing that baseline turnaround. And we know Kevin Durant can hit these, but it's asking a lot for a guy to play 40 minutes a game and play one-on-one and hit all these tough shots time and time again. But it's been my concern with the Brooklyn Nets all year long. They don't defend very well. And their offense is Kyrie, go be special. Kevin Durant, go be special. It's surprising that you have a guy like Steve Nash who played for the Suns, who had that 7 seconds or less offense that had all these actions and movement, and yet they're playing this stagnant basketball. It is not until there's about 3 minutes left in the game where we're finally going to get a screen and roll action. Think about that. We are now 3 minutes left in the game. And it is the first time we get a screen, a ball screen for Kevin Durant to try to go make a play. Al Horford steps up aggressively, right? We're not playing drop coverage anymore. We're not letting you step up into a mid-range jump shot like you did in the first half. So this is definitely something they discussed at halftime. Remember, early in the game, Horford was playing back here, Tatum going over the top, and you were giving up a mid-range jump shot. Well, now Horford steps up. This forces Kevin Durant to put the ball on the deck. And look, you see Marcus Smart is immediately collapsing, right? He's doing that little stunt there. And that's why he's the defensive player in the year, because that stunt forces Kevin Durant to pick it up. If he does not stunt there, Kevin Durant probably drives all the way in and attacks Grant Williams, maybe even drops it off to Claxton, who's relocating from the dunker spot. But that stunt by Marcus Smart, let's bring it back a little bit. I'll show you again. So you get the screen and roll action. Watch Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart right here, he's going to stunt at the ball and then recover back to the shooter, who is Kyrie Irving. Boom, right there. You get Kevin Durant to pick it up. And this is an open shot. This is probably the best shot we've seen so far from Kevin Durant in the second half. And it's not a coincidence that it came off of a screen and roll action. But he misses it, and it's going to happen, right? But at least that time they tried to generate some offense for him and didn't just force him to go be special. Marcus Smart did a great stunt and recover, and he happened to miss the mid-range jump shot. This possession here, you see, again, we got two bodies on Kevin Durant. No more easy buckets, man. You got a couple clean looks in the first half. We're not trying to give you any more of those. Now Tice recovers. Once again, you finally get the screen and roll. This was actually a kind of I would say a little over-aggressive from the Celtics, but they're just trying to get the ball out of Durant's hands. But when Tice begins to run back to find his man, well, guess what? Now you ran back here to go find yours, and your man's actually setting the screen up top, putting you out of position to be able to help much on this. And Kevin Durant gets an open three. Again, the two times we actually saw them go screen and roll, you get an open shot. Not a great, he's not wide open, but we know KD, this is a shot for him, right? And he misses it short, probably because he's tired from playing all these minutes. And that's the last shot. Take a look at the time on the clock, guys. That is the last attempted shot of the game from Kevin Durant. 2:28 left. So it took until the 3-minute mark of the fourth quarter to get a screen and roll. And you only go 2 screen and rolls for Kevin Durant the rest of the game. As far as him getting a shot off of it. Like, yes, they may have gone screen and roll with him again and he gave it up. But it's like you got to do more to help these guys. You can't just roll the ball out and say, hey, go make a play for us every time down the floor. Like, that's what you can get away with that in high school. You can even get away with that in college ball to an extent if you have a player that's really special, right? Like Duke did that a lot with Banchero. They were like, yo, go be special because he was really the best player on the floor more nights than he wasn't. And Kevin Durant is also the best player on the floor more nights than he's not. But in the NBA where they're scheming against you and they're like, yo, we're not going to let this guy kill us. Let's collapse, let's overhelp, let's force somebody else to do something. It's hard to expect Kevin Durant to go be special every single night the way that the Nets rely on him to be. Game 3 is tomorrow. I'm very curious to see what the offense looks like. I think that the Brooklyn Nets need to start running some plays to get Kyrie and Kevin Durant moving off of the ball. And that way when they catch it in their spots, they're catching it with some room to actually operate and not just everybody standing around watching. And that's going to force all 5 guys on Boston to defend and not just help and sink and key in on their 2-star players. But what do you guys think, man? What do you think that the Boston Celtics locking up KD is going to continue this way? Or do you think that was kind of like, just an outlier and Kevin Durant is going to be Kevin Durant for the rest of the series? Let me know in the comment section below. If you liked the video, don't forget to like the video. And of course, subscribe to the channel. This is the Sixers Break Room where we break down NBA film all around the league. Don't let the name fool you. We're breaking down all the teams, all the players. If there's something you want to see, let me know in the comment section or my community post in the comments. And I will see you guys on the next one. This is the Sixers Break Room. Peace.